Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Attaining the Second Cognition. This is Endall Beall. Based on a comment was left on one of the other videos, I feel that I gotta bring some clarification to some things. If you look at a lot of this spiritual stuff that's out there, they all talk about a moment of enlightenment. This is what psychologists call a peak experience. Now, I have covered the falsity of this peak experience in revamping psychology, and I explained it further in the energetic war against humanity. This so-called peak experience, this one little moment where someone gets this big head rush and thinks that they're, looking at the universe or whatever, is an artificially induced state of consciousness. The Hapim virus fed on our emotional energies, and it also knew how to manipulate our emotional centers. Usually when somebody has one of these so-called peak experiences, they get this swelling feeling of love in their chest, which is kind of what sets the hook to make people believe that they have found reality. The problem with these peak experiences is that they're generally not repeated. You get a one shot, they're a one-off. And, you get a taste of what you think is the wisdom of the universe, but once the experience is over, you're left with a hunger that you can't fill, which creates anxiety to try and gain the experience again, which fed the virus. So the virus created the experience in the first place to feed off your emotions when you had the experience. And then it feeds on you continually through all the anxiety that you felt trying to repeat the experience. Even people in transpersonal psychology have tried to reach these peak experiences through drugs. And if they have one, then they come back down and they say, well, then you're right back to being the same asshole you were before you had the experience. This is the problem with these false peak experiences. They do not leave you in any type of permanent state of so-called enlightenment. They give you a taste of what you think enlightenment is based on thousands of years of spiritual indoctrination, but at the end of the day, once you get done with the experience, what do you have? You're right back in the sorry-ass reality that you started from. So it's not really true enlightenment. The process we explain is a permanent state of cognitive alteration. It's not a moment. You live with it day in and day out. It doesn't go away. It doesn't lure you with promises. It doesn't create anxiety. Once you attain this state of cognitive awareness, it's yours permanently. And this is the major difference between the moment of enlightenment and true cognitive advancement. So this needs to be clarified, although we have touched on it in some of the older videos. If you're looking for that peak experience, you may find it, and you're going to get it once. I know millions of people around the planet have experienced it, a lot of them based on taking hallucinogenic drugs, ayahuasca, LSD, MDA, whatever, DMT. But the fact of the matter is, when you come down off the high, you're just like you were before that. You feel that you've been changed, but in actuality, nothing's changed. Your consciousness is still driven by the ego, and you want to keep trying to find that experience. And a lot of people keep doing drugs over and over and over again, trying to repeat it. But the fact of the matter is, through the process that we describe, the Soika process, when you tap into your innate consciousness inside, it's a permanent state. You don't have to take drugs to get there. You don't get a little one-off taste of what you think is all the knowledge of the universe, but it's yours. And that's the distinction, and it needs to be clarified. And for those that have questions, please put them in the comments sections. Those that are working to understand this process, working on themselves with their ego deconstruction process, stay the course and don't give up on yourselves.